Episode of the Reluctant Urban Herbalist, and today we're going to discuss how to make your own iron tonic syrup. This content is courtesy of Mother Earth magazine. Iron deficiency is the most common nutritional deficiency in the U.S. While this affects people of all ages, it's particularly a concern for pregnant women. The digestive system can slow down during pregnancy, but this homemade iron syrup is an effective way to get things moving again. The expected mother's intestinal tract slows down dramatically from her changing hormonal levels. To add insult to injury, often an iron deficient mommy-to-be often takes an iron supplement that causes or increases her issues with constipation. A health-conscious pregnant woman with these problems should drink lots of water, eat dark leafy greens, and exercise. If that doesn't help, an herbal remedy is also available, and that's what we're going to delve into today. So even though this particular recipe, a D.I.Y iron, syrup for deficiency, iron tonic syrup, anyone can basically use it. Okay, so that's what that is. And you're going to see why I'm very much interested in it, because one of the key ingredients is yellow dock, and I have talked about this before, yellow dock root, and I just was very fascinated by it. So even though this is specifically, this particular article is for expectant mothers, I have issues with iron deficiency in different parts, seasons, like especially during the winter months. I battle with a deficiency, and I told you I take supplements of iron, but I also have started taking yellow dock, and I didn't even realize that was one of the awesome things that it was. Okay, so let's get into it. The best part of the herbal allies in this recipe is that they are probably in your backyard or walking distance from you, and you don't even know it. So now we're getting into yellow dock. Okay, yellow dock and dandelion root are considered by many to be weeds. Okay, they can be found alongside highways and abandoned lots, in meadows, and in alleys, alleyways, pretty much everywhere in the world. Look at that, in the alley. These weedy wonders are much more than meets the eye. Love that. Their tap roots are best harvested from late fall through early spring, when the plants are dormant and have stored up their nutrients into their roots. If you can't harvest them yourself, you can buy the dried roots, and we've already talked about where you can find it. My go-to is Amazon. Now, the syrup we're going to be talking about are made from these plants, and it provides a full absorbable source of iron that helps ease that issue that comes with taking iron, constipation. Okay, it gives a powerful 1-2 punch of herbal healing. Although yellow dock is widely recommended by herbalists and midwives the world over, many people will warn. I've seen some warnings of pregnant women to steer clear of it because it does have a mild laxative effect. Okay, the key, however, to this herbal remedy, as well with all medications, is the dosage. That's very true. 1 to 2 tablespoons of the syrup each day is what is suggested. If a woman takes more, it may cause the opposite of constipation. It's the big D, diarrhea. But as with all of life, trust your instincts and observe the effects of your body and adjust the dosage accordingly. And hopefully, people, you know your own bodies, and if not, as I always say, take the lowest dosage and see how you feel. Okay, so now we're going to get into the ingredients, the homemade iron tonic syrup recipe. Okay, ingredients: a half an ounce of yellow dock root, a half an ounce of dandelion root, 1 quart of water, and 1/4 cup of black strap molasses. Let's get into the instructions. Number 1, place the chopped roots into a pot and pour a quart of boiling water over them. Number 2, cover the pot and let it steep for at least 4 to 8 hours. Number 3, strain the plant material out and heat the liquid until it begins to steam. Then turn the heat down very, very low. Number 4, steam until the liquid is reduced to 1 cup. Add 1/4 cup of black strap molasses. You may choose a little more, as these herbs can be a bit bitter. Okay. Number 5, remove from the heat and stir until fully incorporated. Number 6, pour into a jar, label with the contents and the date that you made it, cap well and let it cool, and then you refrigerate. Your D.I.Y iron tonic syrup should help and keep for a few months in the refrigerator. Okay, here we go. Always be cautious with any natural or conventional remedies during your pregnancy. Now, I'm not pregnant, nor will I ever be pregnant, so I'm not going to worry about that, but I'm going to read it. Okay, to be on the safe side, okay, so they give you a list of herbs that are safe to use during pregnancy. Okay, for you guys that are pregnant out there. Okay. And they have a list, okay, and a link to click on. It also contains a section of what to avoid. So, of course, when you're pregnant, and also not so much when you're pregnant, but also when you have certain pre-existing conditions and symptoms and so forth and so on, you want to be careful of what you take in, and to know your body. Maybe even talk to your physician about your plans of it, of taking. Is this safe? All right, so before we end this episode, I had been meaning to look up an herb that I mentioned in a previous episode. It's called Chaste tree berry, and it also goes by the name Vitex, which I found out when I started to look on Amazon. They normally would not put that name, Chaste tree berry. They would put Vitex, which is the other name that it goes underneath. Okay, so this particular herb is like a powerhouse, or this plant is a powerhouse for women. And when I looked up certain sources, also for men, women at different stages, in your 20s, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and further on. It deals with every facet of a woman's body, her hormones, whether she's childbearing, she's past that. It's just like for every possible thing that a woman would need to balance her hormones in her body. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. And it should be more widely known about this particular herb, okay? The health benefits of this herb, or this plant, chaste tree berry. They have pictures of it, and it has some beautiful, beautiful purple flowers to it. Okay, so the source that I looked at is called www.oasisadvancedwellness.com, and it says it helps with progesterone levels, the secretion of LH, which is the hormone, helps with mild endometriosis, may help prevent miscarriages, relieves PMS symptoms, irregular menstruation, your menstruation cycle, your period. If you suffer from uterine cysts, you should take it to stabilize your period after you stop taking any kind of birth control pills or any kind of contraceptive. Helps with mood swings. Helps alleviate acne. If you have issues with infertility, if you have bloating, if you're a new mother, it helps stimulate milk production. Can be taken safely through the end of the 3rd month of your pregnancy. Helps with lack of ovulation. It stimulates and normalizes the pituitary gland. It nourishes and supports your endocrine system. Enhances chances of, which goes with infertility or fertility, enhances your chances of conception. And for those ladies like myself that are dealing with hot flashes and the mood swings that go with it. Okay, so every possible This is just a small chunk of what I found online about Vitech.